right, welcome to the Record Machine Hip Hop Hour. On today's episode, my guest in the studio with me today is Domeniko.
Yes.
Would you prefer Nico?
Yeah, I mean, Nico for short. I mean, Dominiko is just a combination of my government and my nickname.
Right.
So it's just, just don't call me bitch and I'll be fine.
I will not do that, man. So you have had a busy year, man. You put out a full-length album this year, and correct me here if I'm wrong, People Watching, and then you had 2 EPs. You had one, was it 24/7 KXT?
247 Kit with Devin. Me and him do, we do kits together. Like, we do, 3-track kits. So, because we've been together so long, people always want an album from us. So we just do, a couple songs together, and we just designate them as kits, KXT.
Okay.
Just some we're trying to, branding right now. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I put out People Watching, full-length album. I also put out Continue with Rick Mon and iLLPHOniCS with emcee. So 3 EPs and 1 full-length.
Good God.
And I'm working on trying to get some more content out before the year's up.
Man, you just staying on that grind.
Yeah. I mean, creatively, it's good to really keep up with myself, because once I started on this whole path of, really bettering myself, knowing myself better, knowing where I come from, where my family comes from, just in general, just learning more instead of just continuing to be stagnant and content. Like, it just comes out, it flows. And it's like, apparently I got something to say. But then, financials come in.
Right,
and it's
right.
like, oh, man, I can't buy all studio time or I won't have a roof over my head.
So is it difficult for you putting out so much music to get inspired to write? Or have you figured out how to inspire yourself maybe on a day when you just don't feel it?
Inspiration for me comes from a lot of different places. Mm-hmm. I'm inspired now, you know what I'm saying? Like, new experiences, happenings in the world, family. I mean, a little kid could trip and fall, and I could be like, I got an idea, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I just try to take a little bit from everything because, there's beauty in everything, and I really believe in that.
So on these different projects that you put out this year, did you tackle different topics, or is it an overarching topic that you like to talk about a lot?
Let's see. Okay, so when I compile, projects together, I usually start with, some sort of core concept or some sort of core idea, something solid, and then it just kind of stems from that, because I feel like the music I make, it literally doesn't have a direct, I don't really feel myself making a concept album. Mm-hmm. I just feel like when it comes to concepts, I just bleed through them, because Continue was a video game based EP. iLLPHOniCS was more unapologetically black. People Watching, that was more centered around my life, you know what I'm saying? Around the term people watching, like people watching you, me watching people, I just kind of stem through it. It's like a filter, if you will, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I use the concepts as filter just so I can have free range of my art. I don't ever like to be boxed in. You know what I'm saying? That I leave the boxing in for when someone sends me a feature, so then I could stick to some direct content that the song's about. I never want to stray from content, and if I'm doing a feature for somebody, because then the song doesn't have any balance.
Right. That makes sense. So tell me a little bit about when you have an idea for a project, do you go and do you already have beats that are just kind of hanging out, and you're like, maybe I'll tap into that, or do you go out and work with specific producers?
Both, actually. Okay. Most of my albums or startup projects usually start from just safe beats I have, and I'll find 2 and I'll be like, I'm kind of working on something. Or I'll meet a producer that I haven't met, or friend of a producer who's also a producer, because I'm at this point right now creatively where I want to work with everyone, especially before I really get business involved. Because I'm not charging to do music. I'm not charging for my music, but I do charge to perform because that's my time.
Right.
But I really want to create with as many people as possible before this gets too big. And by this, I mean my brand. Because, it's never going to stop growing. And that's how I feel personally. Mm-hmm.
So tell me a little bit about Continue. Okay. That was a super dope album. And you had your website all set up like a video game too? Or just I actually think I had playing cards on it, right?
Yeah. So the Domeniko trading card game is it's another attempt for me to stand out further from everyone else locally. Mm-hmm. It's really just a way that I could continue to broaden myself, expand as an artist, because I do not like to tell people like I'm a rapper. I always say I do music or I'm an artist. And as an artist, I should be able to collab with all types of art. I should be able to, I don't want to say mesh or blend, but I should be able to express with you. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, the act of creation isn't just, making music. It's making babies. It's growing food. It's, it's everything. The act of creation is everything. So, like, I really am, like I said, I'm learning more about myself, stuff that I haven't really been expressing due to, society's cap on, like, you can't be that if you're this, or you can't, you know what I'm saying? And I just broke that glass ceiling, and I'm really starting because Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, like, them trading card games, I was on that as a kid.
Sure.
So now I'm, like, using what made me to further the process of making me. But with Continue, I mean, it was kind of the same kind of thing, just, separate myself, but working with, and I say this proudly, a legend like Rick Mon, like,
absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? That was a, like, huge opportunity for me because I've always wanted to rap or do anything on his beats. Like, ever since, like, hearing, like, Osiris One tapes, ever since, like, he did the State of Misery with Abnorm, it was a good friend of mine. Like, I was blessed with that opportunity that he really sat down with me and we really built something. Mm-hmm. It was really free form, but at the end it came, like, cohesively and it all correlated together.
That's beautiful when that happens, right? When you don't plan and it just all synergizes together.
Absolutely,
like,
absolutely.
Then you kind of know, like, it was meant to be.
Yeah, it was. And I mean, it was 6-7 tracks, and I mean, I just feel like it went perfect. I feel like we both expressed ourselves equally. Like, it wasn't just like, and like, this is taking nothing away from any of my other work, but like with the People Watching album, Ark did the beats and I did the rapping, you know what I'm saying? There was like a separation there of artist and producer, well, rapper and producer, because we're both artists. But with the Continue project, Rick had a verse on there, Rick got some instrumental parts in there, so I feel like we literally gave 50-50,
Right.
Like, in the most literal sense.
And so was that more, so when you do these projects and you get those beats, do you work with the producer after you lay down kind of like a general idea, a draft, and then you guys get together and just work together?
Well, I like to have all types of communication when it comes to me collabing with anyone, especially producers, especially. Because, I mean, with artists, it's like they lay the draft and then send it over. And then it's like, all right, well, this is what I did on it. What you think? Oh, I like it. Cool. But with producers, especially when it's possibilities for post-production,
right?
I had Rick come to the studio. I even had Art come to the studio. Every time there's a possibility for post-production, I feel like the producer should be even more involved. He comes to the studio, he listens to how I say things or how I said something on this part, and in his head, he's like, well, I'm going to drop the beat, phase it out, I'm going to twist this knob, and it's all going to, it's going to musically and melodically be perfect.
Right.
Like, it's going to sound like, oh, this is how it's supposed to be. And, I mean, that's a goal for me. Like, I like to make things that people cannot make again just for the specific fact of them saying, this is how it's supposed to be. Because at the end of the day, I want to solidify my sound.
That's to me, that's the most beautiful thing, because that's, to me, is songwriting, right? Mm-hmm. You get the beat, you lay it down, you guys work together, and then they add those effects in, or maybe they change the kick up if you change your cadence up on a verse or whatnot. Mm-hmm. And that, to me, that's what makes the best type of music.
And let me know, like, he was really listening, like, to my every word. Because, some people are like, yo, that one song, that's dope. Yeah, one song. And I'm like, yeah, it's dope. What'd you like about it? I mean, the chorus where it was just really hype. You know what I'm saying? The beat was nice. And, like, I feel like I might have been touching some issues on the song in some shape or form. And I'm like, cool, bro. But, I mean, at that point, you kind of know where you got to, set people like that in your life. Because, everybody's not going to get your metaphor. Mm-hmm. Everybody's not going to understand your point or your concept. You know what I'm saying? Some people are just there for whatever reason, But at the end of the day, a listen is a listen, and I appreciate, everybody who gives my sound a chance.
Tell me about what you mentioned a little bit earlier. You don't like telling people you're a rapper.
Yeah, okay, so just, from growing up, like, because I've been rapping, like, all my life. Like, there's this story I have where the teacher passed around these activities. It's like elementary, probably even pre-K, a long time ago. It's like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And you write and draw a picture.
Right.
Drew a picture of me with a mic, and I wrote rapper, but I left out a P. So it was pretty shocking for the teacher to grab my paper and be like, "Oh," and she filled that in, So like I chose up a long time ago, but when it comes to telling people that you are involved in hip hop, well, when you are involved in rap, because rap and hip hop are two different things, but when you tell people you're involved in rap or anything to do with rap, there's this negative stigma like connected to it, As soon as I say rap, people just think like tip drill video. You know what I'm saying? They're just like, oh my God, no, we can't have that. Our kids. And they're like,
right. They think gang banging.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But at the end of the day, that's just another level of ignorance, because even like the gang banging, even like, the real greasy, gritty stuff, like that's still a form of expression from somebody who is coming from a background that you're not familiar with. Like, so lately I've been trying not to say I don't like something just because, you are an artist and you are expressing yourself. But at the same time, I mean, if it doesn't vibe with me, it just doesn't vibe with me. You know what I'm saying? People just have to have that level of understanding to know that there are people out here that are different.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. And they're just telling a story from their perspective.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's all about perspective.
Exactly.
That's a different look at the earth that we all live on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just because it's not the first thing you see outside your door doesn't mean that you should necessarily shun it or label it as already like the antagonist to whatever you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, but some people just live through that fear. And I believe they should let that go for real.
Right.
They miss out on a lot of good stuff, a lot of good people.
A lot of good storytelling, too. A lot of good musicianship.
Right.
Absolutely. So okay, I do this, too. I separate rap and hip-hop. I'd like to hear your definition between the different two.
So hip-hop, I would say, would be more of the commitment to express like through like, the boom bap. You know what I'm saying? Hip hop to me is more of the KRS ones, the most defs. You know what I'm saying? Their commitment is to positively express through the boom bap rhythm. You know what I'm saying? The basic, DJ Premier, those type of days. Like that's hip hop. But hip hop, unbeknownst to itself, didn't realize that it would be ever evolving. And it would one day turn into rap. So like when NWA came out, people were like, some people were like, this ain't hip hop, but that message, you can't deny that message. You can't deny that feeling, that authenticity in that, it's still undeniable. But I believe around that time is where it kind of started turning into rap, because then people kind of got it misconstrued and they were like, I'm talking about my life. But then the negative started to sort of fumble with the positive. So then like more negative influences and negative imagery and just, I mean, there's still a message there, but it's like you had to dig through all that negative to really listen to it. But then at the end of the day, everybody kind of got lost in the message. And now I feel like it's just rap, or like it could be rap hip hop. Like, some people kind of stick to that commitment to push that message. But at the same time, like, I don't really designate a lot of 808 style, music, like 808s, like real computer-based beats. Like, I mean, like, you can just tell, like, it's so reasoned. So, you know what I'm saying? And I'm sure all those people use the same programs and stuff, too. But, like, if it's not, like, the simple boom bap, like, I feel like hip-hop isn't extinct. It just evolved into something else. So you kind of either have to accept it or not, which is what they did with the old stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? Run DMC, they all went through that. People trying to reject them or trying to, cast them aside because they did things differently. You know what I'm saying? You had your Heavy D's, you running DMCs, you had your what's dude's name? MC Hammers, you know what I'm saying? There was variations of hip hop back then, So it's just people and their opinions, you know what I'm saying? But I believe that hip hop is evolved and it won't be what people deem it as, Like, because people just have this is what it is, and that's it. No, you have to dig deeper. You have to really realize that this is where it came from.
Right.
But now it's something else. Now it's the future. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to let things grow. You can't just keep your dog the same size. People out here got those tiny puppies and their liver shut down, and then they're like, why?
Right. I mean, I would argue that hip hop is still alive and well. Labels like Rhymesayers, Humble Beast.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, like I can't even compare like artists like Atmosphere or like Psalm 1 to like you know the KRS ones. Like still their sound is like so different from each other, just because, you know, for me it's the time between them. Like there are different things going on now, but like that's still that shade of that. And like now we have like the whole, you know, like the big West Coast influence in hip hop. Like you have that shade, and then you have like the Rhymesayer shade. Like it's different like in each region, like, you know, because the South adopted, you know, Screw. I mean, well, they birthed it, you know what I'm saying? Like they everybody kind of went and did their own thing, just like how people did with religion. Everybody kind of saw what it was, and then people kind of sprouted off
Their own interpretation of
Yep.
it. Okay, so I see what you're saying. So you're talking about like when hip hop kind of came up early 80s, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was all pretty similar.
Yeah.
And then once everyone started getting accustomed to it and started developing their own sound, now it's evolved. Absolutely.
Right. Everybody
okay.
starts splintering off, and I mean, it's culture. You know what I'm saying? Culture doesn't stop. You can't stop culture.
All right, let's go ahead and jump into some music. First up is a track from my guest today, Mr. Domeniko. This song is called Playbook.
Young nigga from the east, made sure he wore his cleats. He just tryna make a play, big homie tryna eat. Yeah, say you got the secret, we don't want it, you can keep it. Say you got the secret, we don't want it, you can keep it. Young nigga from the east, made sure he wore his cleats. He just tryna make a play, big homie tryna eat. Yeah, say you got the secret, we don't want it, you can keep it. Say you got the secret, we don't want it, you can keep it. Say you about that action, but I never seen you move. Stood kid off the porch and he done fell into a groove. Offspring of 27th, I'm just trying to fill the shoes. Kansas City popping and we looking like the proof. Appreciate your patience, I've been caught up in the mood again. Heard y'all rolling blunts, thinking I'ma need about 2 of them. Going at once, I'm on the hunt. Heard y'all was talking about knowledge. Watch you perform and only hear silence. I refuse to not be acknowledged. Allowing y'all to live, keeping niggas on hospice. Magic Johnson's blood test. Niggas know I got this. All the way up, we came up from the concrete. How they lasted this long really is beyond me. Young nigga from the east, made sure he wore his cleats. He just tryna make a play, big homie tryna eat. Yeah, say you got the secret, we don't want it, you can keep it. Say you got the secret, we don't want it, you can keep it. Young nigga from the east, made sure he wore his cleats. He just tryna make a play, big homie tryna eat. Yeah, say you got the secret, we don't want it, you can keep it. Say you got the secret, we don't want it, you can keep it. I'ma stay on this side, I'ma stay away from y'all. Man, my roots from the dirt, we ain't never got the ball. Yeah, I got a couple homies, but I treat them like my brothers. We all stuck in this realm. Let's see what can we discover. For like half a decade, I let myself take the blame. You ain't gotta hurt alone, I let myself take the pain. You don't come to my shows, I don't come to yours neither. I'ma have to calm down, I'm gonna have to take a breather. Goddamn, I'm top 3, but they treat me like an amateur. Sick of they neglect, underdogging is what I prefer. We just want the money, you can swallow that respect. Can't believe y'all playing checkers, they didn't tell y'all this is chess. Young nigga from the east, made sure he wore his cleats. He just tryna make a play, big homie tryna eat. Yeah, say you got the secret, we don't want it, you can keep it. Say you got the secret, we don't want it, you can keep it. Young nigga from the east, made sure he wore his cleats. He just tryna make a play, big homie tryna eat. Yeah, say you got the secret, we don't want it, you can keep it. Say you got the secret, we don't want it, you can keep it. Say you got the secret, we don't want it, you can keep it. Say you got the secret, we don't want it, you can, yeah.
What do you think about the new artists like Lil Yachty? in some of these other artists that are coming up like that?
Well, like the Little Yachty's and the Uzi Verts, they are, for me, direct children from like the Little B's, you know what I'm saying? Like that side of like rap music. And I mean, there's something there, you know what I'm saying? Besides good beats. There's something there because I mean, it's expression, you know what I'm saying? But it's just not something that a lot of people, mainly from what I've heard, older cats can't really vibe with, you know? And that's completely fine. But I feel like people take too much time and waste too much energy on like talking about why something ain't good or why something, like I remember like listening to the radio, like it was like for a good little chunk of my day. It was like a 6 to 8 hours listening to the radio. And besides them playing the same songs like over and over again, every hour on the hour, they played this little skit of them talking about why Lil Yachty is bad because he made comments about Tupac. And it's just so crazy that I heard that skit like more times than I heard like Drake songs that day because it kept coming like in between the songs on the commercials. And I was just like, why do they keep playing the same clip? But people are getting so wrapped up into the gossip, into the ego of being hip-hop heads, or, you know what I'm saying? Because it used to be hip-hop heads, like, if Nas didn't like something, he was like, yo, that shit's whack, B. And everybody was like, cool. Nas don't like it, I didn't like it either, cool. But, you know, and then everybody that did like it would kind of just be quiet about it. But now it's getting to the point where the shit people don't like or the shit people used to get looked at for, you know, like being weird or like being off, like, well, that's not whatever, that's not my standard. So now people are really not caring about other people's opinions and stuff because they're like, well, this is what vibes with me. This is what moves me. Because, I mean, everything ain't for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I use KRS-One's name a lot when I talk just because he's kind of a distinctive like point that I could use and people would be like, okay, I see what you're saying. But I've never listened to KRS-One in my life just because, like, you know, that was before my time and I've never even had a chance to really even dig into that, you know what I'm saying? But like, it's just I just feel people should really, really let go of all that fear of change because I think that's a big part of it too. People see, you know, like, oh, now hip-hop's going the Yachty, Uzi Vert way, so now they're like, it'll never be the same. The kids are doing more drugs than ever, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, it was drugs back then. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure somebody was shooting up to KRS-One, or I'm sure somebody was, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just people just need to acknowledge that nothing really changes. It just keeps growing.
I think a lot of it, too, stems from the fact of social media because now we all have platforms that are in front of everyone and people can get relatively well known off that. So they're like, hey, I'm going to state my opinion and put that out there for no reason at all, just because I got this big megaphone now.
Yeah, and people can't wait to share their opinions.
Right.
You know, everyone's an activist online. You know, everyone's a philosopher. You know, this is my chance to be heard. Through this little window, I'll get 12 likes. Like people, that's the new drug, man. Likes. It is. It's a new drug. It's been around for a little bit, but now, like, everyone's consuming it, you know what I'm saying? It's not just the kids anymore. So, I mean, but at the same time, you know, you get that whole parents are always right or children should always listen to their parents. So even when you see the parents, like, you know, fucking with the shit too, it's like they don't want to really acknowledge that they're wrong in a sense. And that's where you get the separation of like, these are the teeny boppers and these are the older hip hop heads, and you know, but why can't we all stand at a Naughty by Nature show together and kick it?
Right.
Like, it doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't really make sense to me because I started off listening to like my first genre of music was like techno and like indie rock, like Sandstorm and like Jack White. And then I later found like, you know, like Missy Elliott and Timberland, went to Tupac, you know what I'm saying? But like, I naturally went to what moved me. But then like, once I figured out what moved me, I feel like, you know, and we had this conversation last night at the Stop the Violence movement, like at the second part of the release. This lady had said, once you realize, you know, your light and you start walking in your own right, like your own truth, like people notice you in a dark room because you shine in so much light. And I just feel like once I started shining my own light, even back then, because, you know, I was comfortable listening to techno, playing, you know, what was it, DDR with, you know what I'm saying? I was real comfortable in arcades and stuff. But then, like, once I went back to the dark room, and I'm going to just say, like, you know, east of Truce, where, you know, I was born, where, like, my family still lives and stuff, like, people start looking at you different. Like, I remember I just had a conversation with my brother the other day, and I've been trying to go see him. I haven't seen him in a little bit, and he said, yeah, you still coming over? I was like, man, I gotta get my tags. Yeah, I'm gonna have to take a rain check. And he texts back laughing like, haha, rain check. And I'm like, yeah, rain check. He was like, man, we black, not white. I was like, man, that is just that, you know, that level of ignorance that we don't even know that we have, you know what I'm saying? Because at the same time, like, that doesn't matter. But, like, it does matter in certain places. Like, you would be surprised, like, how I used to have to walk, you know what I'm saying, like, with the things that I loved or, you know, I adored. And, you know, you get to that stage where it's like, all right, well, now I'm a teenager. I kind of need friends. So then you want to try to blend in and see what everybody else likes. And then, you know, you go through that whole adolescent stage, and it's like your body's growing up and your mind's growing up. And you're like, I just need somebody to talk to. But you're surrounded by people who are all into the same things, but they're not into what you are into. So, you know, you get that. I don't know. I kind of feel like that's kind of a little birthplace of my anxiety, just kind of being like a double agent in a sense.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah,
man.
but I mean, eventually, you know, you break that once you know, realize, like, that you don't have to do that. You don't have to blend in. You know what I'm saying? It's better when you don't blend in. Use your own colors. Paint your own pictures. Like, I mean, it's just a beautiful thing when you, like, realize, like it's okay to be yourself.
Right.
Because, I mean, I see some people, and I feel like they're living in a separate reality. You know what I'm saying? Like, the internet of, like, the Facebook and, like, the Instagram. Like, they're literally living in that reality. So then when they come out in, like, public with everybody else, it's always weird, or it's always, like, awkward.
Awkward as shit. Yeah, no, absolutely. I know exactly what you're talking about, and it's sad seeing us go that route, but I feel like we're going to hit a peak, and when we hit that peak, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. You know, I try to, like, relate it back to, okay, when music went all digital, and CDs started going away, digital downloads and Napster, all that stuff kind of ushered that in. Then the LP came back.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so that was like the truest form of the music when everyone else was on all the digital stuff. Now the record is huge selling, right?
Right.
So it's like what's going to happen is kind of that counterculture.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I love that too. I love that. I actually have a song on People Watching called Counterculture. So I'm a really big fan of like watching things move like that.
That's the beauty of being older, man.
Yeah.
Like seeing the trends. You know, I was talking to a buddy about this, being like, okay, I'm at that age now. Well, one, I want to say getting older, the beauty is being comfortable with yourself.
Yeah.
Being comfortable in your own skin and being like, yeah, this is what I like. Like, fuck you.
Yeah.
I enjoy this. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
either you're going to get on board with me or you're not.
Yeah.
And so that's hard to do when you're a teenager because all the peer pressure and whatnot. But I think that's the beauty of getting older. And I mean, and then at the same time, being able to see how the trends played out and then being able to have that foresight when it comes back around. You know what I mean?
Literal foresight.
Yeah.
Like it's like, yeah, bro, I just have a feeling this isn't gonna last long. And like that dude's like kicking it. You know what I'm saying? You're like, what do you mean, bro? This is forever. And then like 6 months later, like people are wearing like toe rings again or something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I love that because like, I don't know, I'm at this point where I'm so observant that I feel like I'm not wrong enough. You know? Like I wish more people would tell me that I'm wrong. Like I really need more critiques, more thoroughly thought out critiques. You know, don't just
Constructive.
Yeah, don't just be like
Don't be an asshole.
Yeah, don't be an I don't like it. Why don't you like it? It's just I don't like it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Nah, really dissect what I'm doing and tell me so I can grow even further. You know, what do you I call it what do they do? The bonsai tree, pruning. You know, I call it, prune me. You know what I'm saying? So I can grow even further because I don't feel like I'll ever stop growing, like ever.
That's a beautiful mindset.
Yeah. I want to, I don't know. I always say this thing like I want to live forever. You know what I'm saying? And I sincerely do. I want to be this legendary guy that, you know, people like forget about. I'm like 300 years old. I live like on the other side of the mountain. People come to me to see if I'm real, and I'm just sitting there like meditating, listening to like the first White Stripes self-titled album. They're like,
go.
what is this? what is this sound? You know, because music, who knows what music is going to be
Right.
in 300 years. And I
Right.
just want to, you know, pass some truths down. The myth, the man, the legend, Domeniko. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I mean, the beauty of it is that with music and recording music, you're essentially doing that.
Yeah, it's
know what I mean?
I've essentially already achieved immortality.
Yeah.
Which is great, but I'm still not satisfied. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I need to find the guy on the other side of the mountain right now. Whoever that may, it's probably Tupac. That's where he's been. He's been on the other side of the mountain.
Could be.
Yeah. He's chilling with Biggie. Like, everybody's fine. Everybody, you'll see everybody. It's like, no, heaven isn't real. We just go over here. And
Right.
we never come back.
So when you were young, so taking a step back here, you said when you know, kindergarten, pre-K, drawing yourself with a mic, want to be a rapper. What do you think subconsciously inspired you to want to take that route?
I think I just always had a love for music. I always had like it always moved me because, like I said, rap was not my first genre. So like the first piece of music I probably listened to was probably like, you know, like R&B or something, like my mom was playing, because it was just me and her for a little bit, and like those are the only times I can remember like starting to retain things. I can remember times before that as a child, like when my moms and pops were together, but I don't really remember retaining anything from those experiences as being that young. But I can remember hearing like Erykah Badu come up. I can remember like listening to Sade and like Jill Scott. I can remember like, you know how when you're riding in the car, the music's turned up, you can feel the bass and you can feel the drums. Like, I remember that feeling of feeling that, and I think I just kind of carried that with me. I just held on to that to eventually I started finding my own music, and I don't know, like, I felt like, I think I was always a performer. Like, I have, like, videos, VHSs of me performing at, like, little family events. Not even, like, nobody's paying attention. I'm just like, hey, everybody, hey, ho.
Yeah.
You know, but it was just always a thing that was instilled in me for whatever reason. I could have been Charlie Parker in my past life, for all I know. And this is just his soul carrying on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I mean, I just feel like it was always something I was supposed to do.
So talk to me about how you came up in the hip hop scene in Kansas City. Walk me through that.
All right. So like me, okay, so from day one, okay, so decide, all right, I'm about to rap. This is what I'm about to do. Drop a mixtape. I'm living with my mom's. I have not yet entered the scene, but I see it on the internet. I see like the First Fridays. I'm downloading other people's music. I'm like, oh my God, he's in KC2. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing other people's brands for the first time, and I'm looking at them like they're more than people. You know what I'm saying? Just because, you know, looking through that window, you kind of forget, like, you're desensitized in a sense, like that, you know, this shit still requires human interaction. You just like, oh, he's there, and that's where I'm going to get. Easy. Just walk up the stairs. But nah, the road's longer than that. So the first person I did a song with in Kansas City was Dom Chronicles. Talked to him over the internet. We got together, did the song. Okay, so then he invited me to, it was a like an open mic at a bar, Power and Light Grill, down on 13th and Locust, called Beats, Birds, and Burgers or something like that. It was something like that. And it was Caleb Coop,
Okay.
owner of Shameless Management. He was working the bar. Well, no, Billy was working the bar. This is before his wife. This is before his wife passed the bar. She was working the bar. And the owner of the bar had came to Caleb to, you know, hey, bring a little more business in here. And he said, cool, throw this event. I was invited to that event. I had demos. And I just remember eventually, you know, everybody started ciphering. And this video is on the internet. Like, I could show you this video of, it's me, Abnorm, there was Cuddy Mac, Adrian Truth, Les Paul was there. Like, it was literally the first time I had met any of them.
God
Dutch
damn.
Newman was there.
Yeah.
Like, it was literally like that. I think that is my introduction to the scene. Because then after that, like, you know, I talked more with Caleb because, you know, I started getting booked for, you know, a couple shows here and there, but it wasn't nothing major. It was just like, oh, I got a show. Oh, I got a show. Cool. You know, it really wasn't no structure to getting booked or even performing. It was just like, I got a show. I got to prepare. But I remember eventually I started seeing Caleb in more of my shows, and I was like, man, I've seen you a lot, man. You're going to have to be my manager. And then he was like, well, I do talk to people. And then eventually sat down with Caleb, and then, like, I feel like that was my push into the scene, because then after that I was doing shows all the time, you know, at some of these same places where I used to have X's on my hands, you know, trying to do open mics.
Yeah.
And, you know what I'm saying? Like, that used to be like the weirdest times, like doing shows, and it's like 30 people in the bill, and it's like a bunch of grown ass rappers, and like they all from the east side, and you just like, you're so used to like being around people like that, but just like it's packed, you got X's on your hands, and then it's your turn, and you're like, hey, my name's Nico, and I want to talk about the community, and you know, everybody's just looking like the positive message is just so unfamiliar. It's just
Right.
like, it's so foreign that I'm up here and I'm like really wanting to talk about something without glorifying it. You know what I'm saying? Because when I talk about the things that I've done or that I've seen or the experiences that I've gained through my 25 years of living, like, in no way, shape, or form am I glorifying it. I'm literally packaging it so it's tangible to the listener. You know what I'm saying? I'm literally like handing it over, like, here. Like, but like back then, like, just being in that, being in those shows, it was just so like, I shouldn't have been there, but I needed that to know I don't need that now.
Yeah, that's true. Everything's a learning experience.
Yes, learning experiences.
Yeah.
Huge learning experiences.
So did you have to like leave the bar once you got done with spitting your bars?
Every time. Every time. It was always one dude that's like, grab my hand, hey, let's go. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to sit in the darkest of corners. Yeah, but terrible times.
All right, so if you are a consistent listener of the show, first off, I want to thank you. It means a lot to me, and it means a lot to these artists that I feature on the show. So as you know, I like the guests that I have in the studio with me to bring in tracks from other MCs that they vibe with, other MCs in the area, Kansas City, Lawrence, you know what I'm talking about. So Domeniko brought in a handful of tracks. I'm going to play them for you. And first up here is Mr. Dutch Newman with his song Go Chicken Go, taken off the album Don't Take This Personal.
Bitch wanted me to take her out to cheesecake. Little did she know she was dealing with a cheapskate. A free play, fuck you think this is a sweepstake? I get it. For you must have been doing free base. Only thing you getting is beef steak. And here's my kids on your face. You can take with us a keepsake. Only people eating around me is my teammates. Besides what the bitch get for telling me don't be late. Who's in the mood for some sacrificial lamb? But first I'll take a pic, throw it on Instagram. Afterwards we eating delicious flan, cause when all said and done, the shit is hitting the fan. Catch me up and go chicken go, letting whack niggas know they salted the dinner rolls. When I die, wanna be winter froze in the permanent winter poles, till I'm resurrected as the panties on a centerfold. I ain't like a lot of dudes, I don't follow rules, I just break down molecules, hit them with the bada boom, Alex Smith audibles, and leave it to you fuck boys, the mother goose and auto-tune. I ain't these rappers spitting the same old silly shit, rather be with Dino getting wavy and belligerent. Unable to perform, I got a bad case of whiskey dick. Yo, I'm ready to tour, fuck a vacation. DJ set paper, people and prosperities in the pavement. Steady, just say when, setting fire to stages. Go, nigga. Full pack of gizzards. G-Sauce.
Yeah, man. So then after that, so you just started playing more shows, and then you do a lot of shows with Secondhand King.
Yeah, I do. I've done a lot of shows with Joe. I still remember the first show I did with Joe. But like Caleb, one of the, recurring people that Caleb booked was Joe. And eventually, me and Joe just kind of grew closer. So, if Joe needed me on the bill, I was there. I wasn't really into, throwing my own shows like that. But,
Right.
I mean, if he needed somebody like, oh, man, this dude just dropped out, fill a slot. Cool, I got you. You know what I'm saying? It really wasn't nothing to do shows. It was more of me. I need to practice, you know what I'm saying? Because essentially most of the shows that I do, or like, I ain't gonna say most of them now, but like most of the shows I was doing, it was practice. There was those one times where it's like the Jan Johnson release party, that was like serious. Like, we gotta do this. Or when we opened up for like, Seth's Crew back in the day, it was like, all right, this is serious. Those were like the serious times, but most of those shows I see it just me really building my stage presence, really becoming more comfortable in my own art, but like on stage live for people, you know what I'm saying? Because at the same time, I do have to be an entertainer of sorts. Like, I am an entertainer, but like I wasn't really hip to the whole 360. You know what I'm saying? Because it really is more than just rapping. Because some people are just rappers and they can rap forever and ever. But then you ask them to like put together like a project, and it just doesn't really mean the same thing that it does to you. Because there is a way of doing things, but it's always good when somebody breaks the mold or does things in their own way. But at the same time, everybody needs direction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And I would say that even now, more than ever, it's more important to be an entertainer than just to be a musician, because everyone's expecting that. And it's so difficult now to even get people out to shows. It's like just playing amazing music or just being an amazing musician isn't going to do that like it used to. Mm-hmm. Now people need to have that visual entertainment. They need to have something on the side as well. So that's great that you're thinking like that, man, because that's absolutely the way that you got to process things, especially right now, right? Hopefully the train will come back where people start appreciating music like they used to. Mm-hmm. I feel like a lot of this streaming stuff, man, has just devaluized music.
Yeah, the streaming war, as like I've been calling it, like it's really suspect to me, because it's really keeping the music away from people more than it is like giving it to them, as they say. It's just, like I said, it's just a battle of egos and my battle of wallets, like who can make more money or who wants to do it right. And I mean, there's legitimate reasons, and there are logical reasons for like everybody's picking a side, and everybody's, I'm gonna go this way, I'm gonna go that way. But at the same time, like, that just, like you said, it devalues the music. It really takes the soul out of it, because it's like, you shouldn't have to choose like that. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't have, like, that's like election shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you shouldn't have to choose. Like, I don't know. I really don't like that. I don't have Spotify or any of that. But it's even worse now for like people trying to really come up and monetize their brands, because people will see your shit and be like, oh, well, is it on Spotify? Or, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, that's like a new standard that people are really trying to hard press. And I don't think that's fair, because, everybody, that ain't for everybody. It ain't for me, I know. So if it's not for me, I know it's somebody else out there. Like, yeah, I don't got Spotify either, bro. Like, has to be. Like, I just feel like people get so wrapped up in their world and how they do things that they kind of just ignore like everything else. Like, it's some people, I'm sure, like, I know that don't have no internet presence, but they're out here touring. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? All year round, making money, selling merch. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even know like what plan you would have. You know what I'm saying? Because like your reach is total word of mouth. It's totally in the physical realm. Like, you refuse to live in that reality of that little window. But like, that little window is like, it certifies people like, oh, it was on the internet, because everybody's just seeing articles on their Facebook fucking timeline, and they're not even checking the sources. You know, they're just like, well, this website said, like,
Right.
what website said, like, what else has they said, like, oh, these the same people that said they saw Obama's tail. Like, you know what I'm saying? Cool. I know not to listen to any of that shit. Like, you got to check your sources.
Yeah, man, and I'd argue, and I'm 100% behind this, word of mouth is way more powerful than anything that you can do online, because even online, it's like 15 minutes and you're done. I mean, if you just keep pumping through that, it's having the physical presence and getting out there is more important than just sitting behind a computer,
Yeah.
you know, and doing stuff. And I would even argue, too, that, yeah, streaming right now is kind of, you know, it's going to reach a cluster point.
Oh, yeah.
And so the beauty of what's going on right now is that you have all the opportunity to break through the noise and do something different, because there was that blueprint that was set, you know, in the 90s, early 2000s. And then once this came on board and you started blowing some of the opportunities out of the water that only the majors had, a lot of the younger artists now, a lot of the newer artists, in addition to having recording gear come down in price significantly and being able to, you know, go get on GarageBand that comes with a Mac and do an entire EP that sounds professional. You know
Right.
what I mean? And then Billboard now going to having like the Twitter Top 100, you know, just having that whole additional platform. I think it's an exciting time now. It's a very frustrating time in a sense, but, you know, now you kind of got different things that you can be trying to pull together to make it work.
Yeah, but people just got to set, like, that pride aside, and they could really open their eyes and see that. Because, I mean, I agree. Like, this is as creatively as music has ever been. You know what I'm saying? Like, in all forms, in my opinion. Like, of course, like, every genre is taking sounds and taking rhythms and taking just little anecdotes from each other. But at the same time, to me, that's like creatively like a creative like melting pot. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's amazing. You know what I'm saying? Like the things that Little Uzi raps about don't match like the symbolism that I see he uses. Like, cause he has like Pokemon jackets and stuff on. You know what I'm saying? Like, his Pilgrim is like direct, like, it's like a different rendition of like Scott Pilgrim comics. And it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's, to me, that's creative, because it's like, I love those things too, but they made me into a way different person, and they made me like be and walk like this. But you love the same things that I love, apparently, or you wouldn't have a Meowth on the back of your jacket. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that to me is a beautiful thing, because it's like, you know, like creatively, this is what you took from these things. Or, you know what I'm saying, this is where you went. Because, I mean, all trees don't grow in the same direction, you know. Right. Like, and people just need to really set aside that pride and just accept. Like, I mean, the people that say that should create something. Like, if you really feel like there's a problem with how we or how they are doing things, then you should create something. You know what I'm saying? Show us how it should be done. And, I mean, I'm the type of guy, I listen to every link that gets sent to me. I mean, whether I like it or not. If I like it, you'll know, because I hit like. If I don't like it, I don't hit like. But I'll tell you, hey, thanks. You know, appreciate you sending that to me. Because at the same time, like I said, like, I feel like people are literally gifting and just handing. You know what I'm saying? People, but, you know, the internet, it's just so everywhere that it really takes the value out of things, as you said. Like, so it's just like music and like words are really not holding the same weight that they did. Because, I mean, like, one thing that really bothered me, like, so when like Trayvon and like Mike Brown and got killed, like back then, like, the one thing I said was like, watch everybody make a song about it. You know what I'm saying? And that really bothered me, because now it's just like everything was just so spread thin, and it was just like, oh, well, this is just what happens. You know what I'm saying? Somebody gets shot, we make a shirt, make a song. Like, there was really no other course of action being shown or expressed, you know what I'm saying, besides like, you know, like the protests and stuff. But even then, like, after the protests, what do? You know what I'm saying? You go back to your home and, you know, listen to that song, that tribute they made, or, you know what I'm saying? You don't even pick up the trash in front of your own house.
Right, it's no follow-up action.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
and it's sad because, yeah, it's like some of those people are going out and they're trying to monetize a tragedy, while then some of the other artists that actually do it and they're trying to use their platform for good, and it's so hard to tell the difference, you know, because it's just a sea of people can put stuff out now.
Right. It's like pouring tap water in the ocean. Like as soon as you do it,
That's perfect.
it's gone.
That's right. That's right.
It's gone. You can't even. It's getting to the point where you can't separate anything. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, even it's a lot of like R&B artists that are, to me, in my opinion, dropping rap songs.
Yeah.
That they are singing on.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, it sounded like right now there's the dance hall craze kind of going around. So every song on 103 is like dance hall, like island rhythm, and it's so annoying. And then like I hear people here drop dance hall music, and I'm like, there's not enough dance hall culture here for you to have been inspired by anything but the radio and to get on the radio. So that to me, like that is fraudulent. That is like, you know what I'm saying? It's good to be inspired, but not by the same shit, like don't like really, really look for true inspiration, because I mean, inspiration muses is something that I don't think we've dove into enough, you know what I'm saying? Because like, where does it come from? When you get an idea, where does it come from? You know what I'm saying? Something else. But like, how does that process in your left and right brain to where you like push out this copy and it's like, all right, now this is my creation, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like every idea stems from, another idea. But at the same time, like people really don't really think about where does inspiration come from. Because, I mean, I can tell you what inspires me all day, but, like, what exactly inspired me about, watching that performance? You know what I'm saying? Like, people really don't take the time to break down. And, because once you break things down, it's really easier to grasp that understanding. And once you have that understanding of anything, like, shit looks different. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been reading a lot of books on, like the basics of the color line or white supremacy, like really, really diving into that. And once you start, like once I picked up, it's a popular one, Willie Lynch, the Letters of Willie Lynch, like that book's like 20 pages, but it literally changed my life because I just started looking at things completely different. Like, because the things that we might find as the norm or commonplace was really conditioning, or you know what I'm saying? Or I mean, even now, like the internet has conditioned us with the timeline. Everybody's got the stream. Everybody's doing the same thing. Like that's conditioning. Like you you ring this bell, your dog knows it's time to eat. That's
right.
Conditioning. You know what I'm saying? There's no difference between that and the shit that's happening to us now.
That's absolutely right. That's an interesting thing.
Yeah, but it's like we're doing it. We're conditioning ourselves. Now, whoever set that in motion doesn't have to even work, Their family's somewhere good, you know what I'm saying? Because they already knew what was coming.
Right.
But it's up to us. I mean, and not just people of color, because, I mean, whites, non-whites, we've all been conditioned. Everybody's in the fray at this point. But at the same time, like, there's this propaganda being pushed, like this it's this movement of separation, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, you see it with music, you see it with the culture, you know what I'm saying? Like people really going hard for, white people with dreadlocks. Like, why does that matter? How somebody wants to wear their hair,
right.
You know what I'm saying? And I get culture appropriation. And I get that argument. But at the same time, some of these same people that push those cultural appropriation statements and really feel like they're standing for something are the same people that, I say, like, celebrate Kwanzaa over here. You know what I'm saying? Because I have a friend, a really good friend, he's Ghanaian, and he looks at Kwanzaa as culture appropriation because he don't celebrate that shit. You know what I'm saying? But then at the same time, he probably celebrates Christmas. So it's just like this huge cycle of contradictory and this huge, like, neglect to acknowledge your own ignorance, Like, people just get to a certain point in their life where they make this certain amount of money or, they retire and they just get content, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that kills people more than anything. Like, once you get to a point where you're like, I don't have to do anything but what I want to do. Or, you know, I'm making enough money, I'm feeding my family, so I'm not going to read any more books. And I'm not saying people are stupid, but I'm saying people choose to remain as stupid as they are when they get to certain points.
So you're comfortable.
They get comfortable.
Yeah.
It's deadly.
It is deadly. It is. I mean, that's like the quickest way to age yourself.
Yeah.
Is to stop learning.
Yeah. Like when people, like you hear about people like 76, like 80s, 90s, and they're like, yeah, he's still working. But once he stopped working, like he was gone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that shit's crazy. But like people just take it for the surface. They don't really think about like once he stopped working, like he died. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't really think about that. They don't really think about why he died. Mm-hmm. His body, his mind was so used to that routine.
Right.
You know, he had conditioned himself.
Yeah.
And then once his body is, I feel like your body, your mind goes into shock in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Like,
sure.
You cool, you look good on the inside, but at the same time, like, that's why they tell you to go to the hospital after a car wreck. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't know what's going on.
Right.
Like shit like that. You don't know what's going on inside yourself. Doctors barely know what's going on inside yourself.
Yeah.
Like you go to the doctor's office, he comes in, and he looks in your eyes and he says, well, your pupils aren't dilated. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
he's just going off previous cases.
Right, going off his previous cases. Yeah. Nobody's really thinking for themselves.
That's a good point that you made. And what's really scary, man, is that technology has made us too comfortable, and it's just going to continue to make us more and more comfortable. Self-driving cars, artificial intelligence. Like we're getting to the point where we're going to be just sitting on a fucking couch, not having to do shit. That movie, Idiocracy. I don't know if you've seen it, Mike Judd.
Bro, yes, Idiocracy, Wall-E.
Yeah.
You seen Wall-E?
Yeah.
People are already on the hoverboards, bro, and people still saying like, "Oh, I'm big bone, so it's okay." Like,
right.
No, your bones look the same as mine. Take care of yourself, please.
Right.
Please take care of yourself, bro. The danger of convenience, and I'm very familiar with convenience, not only with like, you know, technology, but like with human interactions. Like I remember like hanging around girls conveniently because they bought me food, or you know what I'm saying? You get stuck in that convenience, like, oh, well, this is where I go for food, or this is where, I mean, it's like you build your own instinct in a sense. Like usually, like you wonder why dogs, you know, chase rabbits and shit. There's like they've been doing it for years.
Right.
You see the rabbit, they're gonna get it, no matter what you say. Yeah. Like it's nothing you can do to stop it. You know what I'm saying? And like, I don't know, people really need to acknowledge things like that.
Yeah,
like
man.
really learn about what's going on. Because I mean, I saw a picture of a full, like the brain still connected to the nervous system, like all the way down the spine. And I looked at this picture and it looked like a grown up sperm cell, you know what I'm saying? And then like literally I started thinking about like the body inside the body, you know what I'm saying? Because like if you think about it, like the sperm cell went to the egg and it literally expanded itself. Mm-hmm. But like the body inside the body, like people really don't want to live in the reality of things that they are going to have to put effort towards to understand. You know what I'm saying? So like when I say something like that to my people, they be like, "Man, that's crazy." You know, that's crazy, boy. You be reading them books, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? But literally, like, I mean, I do read a lot, but at the same time, like, I feel like if people spend more time, you know, with themselves off the internet or like, you know, with their families, of course you're going to spend time with your family. Human interaction is essential. But like really like meditate on the things, the questions that they have. You know what I'm saying? Whatever question you have, there's a solution for it and you have it. You just need to think about it. Like I'm getting to a point right now where I am no longer trying, I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm literally trying to take that out of my vocabulary because people don't know that words are very powerful.
Mm-hmm. You
Words
put
are
it out in the universe.
Yes, you put it into the universe. Yep. Like a big thing, and a good friend of mine put me on this spelling. You know what I'm saying? When you really start breaking down words, you get to the etymology of things like spelling, you know, spell. Like you literally putting things in cursive, curse. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
you really spelling, you really putting it out in the universe. Like everything that you speak, everything that you thinking, you know what I'm saying? Your desires, like it's going to manifest itself in this reality. And I feel like that's a big thing about the internet because people are just manifesting things on this artificial, it's not organic at all. So it's not really growing. It's just because, I mean, you can't fill up the internet. The internet is literally a void of space. There are pieces of the internet that you will not see before you leave this earth.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It is literally a void of space. So there's never going to be a point where it's like, cool, we're done. You know how long I've been trying to find Oregon Trail on today's internet? Like, I just want to find Oregon Trail so I can play it now, so I can save my whole family and
Right.
not just be like one survivor and he's
Trying to cross the river.
Trying to cross the river. He's got 1 foot, dog sick. You know what I'm saying? like it's just a huge, vast space, and like it's just once you put it out there, it's like you said, it's just your 15 minutes, and then the waves catch it.
Right.
Literally, the waves, wave file. Like the words are a big part of it.
Yeah.
Words, numbers. I mean, the internet is nothing but numbers.
Exactly. The internet is just a big marketing scheme, in my opinion. I mean, it started off as a fantastic place, and it still is if you know how to sift through the bullshit.
Yes.
A good source of information.
Yes.
But, you know, marketing gets down to like, okay, what color can I put on this screen that's going to make you like this more? Like
That's
the
huge.
psychological shit, right?
That's
and it's
huge.
so much of the internet now is just based upon clickbait.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And just catering to yourself. I mean, if I go on your Google, I go on your laptop, you go on my laptop, we look up the same thing, we're going to be shown different things.
Yeah, there's like a filter now of like your own content. Like you look up Michael Jordan jerseys, and then like all of a sudden, like in your sidebar, it's like Michael Jordan highlights, Michael Jordan, and it's like literally catering you to the same things that you like. It's literally I feel like it's trying to keep you in the same spot.
Absolutely is.
Because, I mean, it used to be where you hop on the internet and then you're just so overflooded by information that it was like, I learned like 6 different things today. You know what I'm saying? Like, but now it's just like literally like you looking at the same things. Like you're really not stemming to anything else unless like, I mean, if you go to a different website, you would literally be stemming yourself to something else. But it used to be just really commonplace to just fall into some shit on the internet. And you still can, but it literally is probably like, oh man, another website for shoes.
Right.
And they're cheaper than the other, you know, but it's like the internet used to be more than that. Now it's too controlled. But I feel like they're more and more trying to control the internet, just kind of how they do TV. But I feel like the internet's too far gone.
Yeah.
I feel like it's too far gone because there are places on the internet where they're selling organs and like
Man,
child
that's
porn.
That's the dark web.
Yeah, you're the dark web. See,
Google is like, if you think of an iceberg, Google's the very top, it's peeking out the water. The
Yeah.
rest of the internet, that's what's all beneath it.
and that shit's scary.
Yeah.
I've been there like once. I ended up on one of those sites. I can't even remember like how I got to it. This is because I'm an original child of the internet.
Right.
Like I remember like Windows 96 type. You know what I'm saying?
Remember the dial-up modem?
Yeah.
On the internet, and someone picks up the fucking phone
And you fucked.
disconnects you? Yeah.
You're like, oh, I gotta start over. I was trying to like look at like pictures of like Dragon Ball Z in Japan and shit. You know what I'm saying? Just waiting, just like, oh, it's coming. And like, I feel like that's why I kind of know how to shift through the bullshit because I like to call myself an original child of the internet. Like, I feel like I've grown up with the internet because the internet came out in 92-ish, 91-ish.
Became mainstream in there.
You know what I'm saying? It became...
Everyone had a Hotmail account.
Yeah,
AOL
you know what I'm
CDs
saying?
were in your mailbox every week.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't just for the rich no more, like, you know, because, like, computers and stuff, that shit used to be expensive, like, mad expensive. Like, well, kind of how much they cost now, but back then it was like, well, you're not really doing nothing.
Right.
But
Right.
you
It
just
was-
paid me $10,000 for this fucking 800-pound tower, you know?
Yeah.
But, like, I'm glad I learned how to shift through the bullshit because I've tried to show like my younger brothers And well, I've not tried. Like I had to show them because they were fucking up like my father's computers, my grandma's computers, and I'd be like, when you go to download music and you see it say download, don't click on that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Don't click. No, stop clicking on that. They're like, I clicked download, and then it said I got a free iPad, and you know, like people don't know how to. That's bullshit. People are just like, I mean, people get scammed all the time. You know what I'm saying? I was just trying to buy a car, you know, not too long ago, and I'm on Craigslist, and like literally 3 people kind of sent me the same story about how I had to send them money to like ship the car through this like car transfer service, and I was just like, this is insane, because there's somebody somewhere like, okay,
Yeah, exactly.
Here's my address and full name.
Right.
No, like that shit's crazy. Like I don't know. There were no like education classes on the internet. There was never like all right, Web 101.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I remember like learning how to type, and then like they would let us paint for a little bit, and then like Oregon Trail, and then like eventually it was like, all right, so now we're on computers in class, and like everybody's like not even doing their work. Everybody's on the internet.
Right.
Like we're sending messages through Yahoo. You know what I'm saying? That was us learning how to use the internet, you know, for ourselves. Like just having that time to really sit and explore, because I mean, we didn't have like robotics classes and shit. Like that shit's badass now. You know what I'm saying? Like they could have made like everyone a genius if they would have really set everybody down and been like, hey, this is the future. You know what I'm saying? Like this is literally going to be a part of everything you do in like 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and really dive into this. I mean, but you know how the education systems are now anyway. Like they really give you, I don't even feel like they give us the surface. You know what I'm saying? They just give us the account of history of the people who won.
Right. And half the time ain't even true.
Yeah,
they're just taking certain pieces of it,
Right.
and not telling you the full story.
Right.
And the fact that they're taking music out of schools, man, that's
I haven't even been hip to that, but I've heard a little bit about that. But like at the same time, I haven't really dove into that. But that's kind of crazy because like music was a big part of school, and I'm not saying like music like we was listening to Tupac. I remember being in elementary and we're like doing silver bells on those big ass, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Those
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like that was a big deal.
Yeah.
Because I remember like being like, oh, this is my first instrument was silver bells.
Yeah, getting like a harmonica or like
Right.
a plastic recorder, or just even being in like choir class, man. And it's such a natural human thing. And the fact that we're not even encouraging it anymore, it just, in the States, man, you go over to Europe, you go over to other countries, and it's still strongly encouraged there.
Yeah.
We're just so conditioned here to only be about what makes money, not what is culture, what makes
sad.
culture.
It's sad because money can't save itself. So there are people like put in place to save money.
Right.
And like not save money like stockpiling money, like literally save money. Because money's like, to me, like money's like a recessive gene. Like eventually it's not gonna be around. You know what I'm saying? We were just talking to this guy. He lives on the same. Well, his mother lives on the same block as me, and they have a beautiful garden. Like they got corn, squash, tomatoes, all types of stuff, peppers. And we were talking to him, and it was funny. The funniest thing he said was like, I feel like we're about to get back to a time where we're about to have to grow our own food. And like that's mainly like a lot of things that I talk about with like people I'm comfortable with. Like, yeah, man, we're about to have to get more frugal, or people are really gonna be in trouble. And I refuse to be one of those people. So like I was saying, like how they should have like conditioned us for the internet, you know what I'm saying? Or like they's not conditioned, but they should have really put us in a better place for the internet, because you know people kind of still fear the internet. But me, just learning what the internet was and what I could do on it and what not to do on it, you know, I kind of gained my own relationship with the internet. But at the same time, like they're not going to push that agenda. They're not going to push the agenda for you to save yourself. They want money to save you. They want you to feel like you need this to be saved. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, they put God on money, and then, but it's like, we can't have God in the schools, but we got money in the schools. I mean, it's just huge contradictions all around. But at the same time, like, they're not about to teach you how to grow food in school. Like, that's not a mandatory thing. They want you to buy food. They want you to think that you need this to survive, but you really don't. You do, but you don't. If, like, I read an article about a little village somewhere, and, like, they've never seen money. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that to me is amazing, that these people are literally circulating that energy, circulating that, what can I say, that self-profit.
Yeah, like they're probably bartering.
Yeah,
right?
yes.
Right.
There's a total barter community. And they're really, like, making everything. And I mean, of course, you know, somebody there might have, like, a PlayStation or something, you know what I mean? They know about certain things, but at the same time, like, they have taught themselves, like, and they continue to teach these things that, I mean, made everything you see now, you know what I'm saying? Like, back in the day, like I like watching, like, The Godfather, and you see, like, not Michael, but his father. You see Victor growing up in like, New York, walking down, like, the street, and you see, like, people, like, selling, like, food and stuff that they've grown, you know what I'm saying? And it's like the streets hella dirty, but everybody's got their money out. Everybody needs food. Like, people really take for granted, like, where shit came from.
Imagine if you had to go kill a cow.
Yeah.
If you wanted to have a fucking hamburger.
Bruh.
You know how much more you would appreciate that hamburger than if
Right.
I just drive down the street to a McDonald's and get a hot hamburger in my hand.
And that's another thing, like, your body is not supposed to be ingesting things at the rate that we do, and that's why people's lifespans are shortening. Because, like you said, you have to go kill a cow. There used to be a point where people were searching for cows,
Yeah,
you know what I'm
exactly.
saying, with my spear and my sack, looking for just a field of buffalo, you know what I'm saying, 2-3 days, and he had meat once that week, you know what I'm saying, he had meat, he found a rabbit. He
Right.
was like, cool, I can eat. You know what I'm saying? Like, but now you just like, I'm hungry. I'm going to go
Right.
eat, and then I'm going to go sit back down. You know what I'm saying? That convenience, man, like, that shit's deadly.
It is.
All right, time for some more music. Next up is Mr. Mike C with his track Jesus. That is a capital G apostrophe S. Here we go.
Let us work in unity and diligence. Selassie. Hear the rebellion. Stand up, put your hands up. From block to block, when we unite, you gon' stop what? The reach of youth spans all time, so we spoke up. Been sleeping, but we woke up. Could drill you, but it's all love. I'm doing what a coach does. I speak on what ain't spoke of. A juggernaut, I won't budge. When I raise my fist, you go nuts. If we unite, they gon' stop what? This driving force ain't stopped once. Evolving as our souls touch. Just send it conscious, G's up. Messiah, Jesus. Looking for the buzz, but it bees us. Standing in the rain, cause I won't rust. Coming is the change, but don't rush. Steady is the mind that knows much. Waiting on the line, got you held up. Asking for what's right, never got much. You fight or you die, but not us. I know that you're down, but who's your opponent? Mastering minds will master their moments. The power is yours the minute you own it. Put it to use, for many you've blown it. Drink of the juice, receive no atonement. Ascend toward the masters, the ones who've awoken. Believe in thyself, you'll never be broken. Be no one's token. You are the prize, they call it the game as they play with our lives. Our daughters are thoughts, I thought they'd be wives. My niggas be wise, which niggas have died. From all these eyes, they make enterprise. I've seen all the lies, they show no our rise. The blight in that picture poisons the skies. Atrocities abroad, devalue our lives. My niggas gon' fly away. Too many were led astray. We ain't never gon' die no way, so real niggas gon' fly away. We ain't never gon' die no way. Multiply till we change this place. My niggas gon' fly away. Too many were led astray. We ain't never gon' die no way, so real niggas gon' fly away. We ain't never gon' die no way. Multiply till we change this place. Salute me, it's Mike. I'm still on a mission to cause you to ponder what crosses your vision. The feelings inside that prove how you're living. Reflect on the whys, you made your decision. Learn what is power, be master of vision. A method of science can move a dimension. I'm master of mind and I'm clutch, but you bitchin'. The state of your mind advertise what you're given. Attraction is law and I speak to existence. Feel the vibrations, you'll know their intention. Real recognize the test and they get it. Maintain the control, the results are conflicted. The veil has been lifted, I'll never be scripted. I'm wept in the valleys where light was restricted. A cycle of phases, eternal is instant. Warrior of light, I accept the indifference. I pen for my penance, my have independence. Been a defendant at mercy of snitches. Dodge the conviction, divine intervention. This prophetic fluid redrench your intention. Keep spreading love like it's your invention. Watch how they does, they hate what I'm giving. The panther in me shall share the ascension. Power to the people, never forget it.
Fly away.
My niggas gon' fly away. Too many were led astray. We ain't never gon' die no way, so
Fly away.
real niggas gon' fly away. We ain't never gon' die no way. Multiply till we change this place. Messiah, Jesus. Looking for the buzz, but it beats us. Standing in the rain, cause I won't rust. Coming is the change, but don't rush. Steady is the mind that knows much. Waiting on the line, got you held up. Asking for what's right, never got much. You fight or you die, but not us. You fight or you die, but not us. You fight or you die, but not us. Real niggas gon' fly your way. My niggas gon' change this place. Gon' save our race. Black Messiah, Jesus. Black Messiah, Jesus. Looking for the buzz, but it beats us. Yeah. Black Messiah.
The definition of hard work has definitely changed.
You're absolutely right. You know, I was talking to actually a guy that started up Rhyme Sayers at a conference. I'm like, what is the biggest thing you see between artists now and artists in like the late 90s? He's like, they don't get out and do anything anymore. They think they can sit behind a computer, but they don't get out and sell mixtapes out their trunk. They don't get out and try to tour. They don't get out and try to physically be in front of people. And that is so important, especially these days, so important.
Yeah.
Just to, even if you're wanting just to get into the scene, just go out to shows, go out support, get your face shown, you know what I mean? And like...
Network.
Exactly. It is so, so important. And that's what a lot is lost, I feel, on the younger generation. Now, there's some, I'm not going to say all, but there's some that understand that. I say a majority of them really don't.
Right. But at the end of the day, like, that's something that really can't be taught. Like, because I talk to people, like, all the time, and sometimes they have the same questions. Like you said, they're like, how do I get into the scene? Like, what do I do? I want to do some shows. And it's just the same. Just like, you know, just come outside.
Right.
Just come outside, bro.
Right.
You'll be fine. But, like, I remember, like, feeling like I'm going to just drop these mixtapes online and somebody's going to see me. Like, I just feel like, you know, because that's all I knew.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Of course I knew, like, I had to get out there. But at the same time, I don't have a car. I don't know where people are performing. I know people are performing. And I mean, but then in that same breath, like, you can oversaturate yourself in public just as people spam on the internet. Because there are some people in Westport that I am sick of seeing. You know what I'm saying? You know, so I can understand, like, both sides. Because, I mean, I like to come out. I like to see the people that have come up in the scene with me, the people that I've known for years, that I've built these relationships with. Like, I love to see that, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I like to be scarce with my attendance. Like, I really want people to see me as art. As rare as they see art, I want them to see me like that. That's why, like, I do limited runs of physical copies. Like, I'm really solidifying the standards for how I want my brand to move, because I want to be more than just another record label or another guy. I really want to push, like, culture. I really want to concentrate on the things that made you, and I want you to understand them, and I want you to create the best thing you can. Like, I don't want you to just be like, come to the studio, we're going to bring Timbaland in, Timbaland's going to make the track, you're going to rap it, we got a hit, cool, go get lunch, you know what I'm saying? Tomorrow we got 2 hours in the studio, we're going to bring Timbaland back in,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit's cool, but, like, I want to put the soul back in this shit. I really want people to really look at shit and be like, we're never going to see that again. Like, one thing I use is the Yeezus concert when it came to Kansas City.
Yep.
Like, it got such bad reviews because, I mean, people in Kansas City, people in Kansas City, it's a bandwagon city. Like, they see things happening, they attach themselves to it. If it's not happening, it's probably a few people that know it's really happening, but if it's not happening on a larger scale, on like a CNN scale, on a Fox scale, people don't care. Because they really don't. I don't know why. I think it's just because we're in the middle. So
That happens in every city, though. I'll be completely honest with you.
I can't see it that worse. I mean, I can't see it being any worse than how it is here because I can't tell you how many people I know switched when the Royals won that World Series. Like, I know people did not have a stitch of Royals merchandise until they was like, "Oh, we going to the ship." we on our way. Like,
You know what's funny was when they had that big parade and they were televising it.
Yeah.
And you see everyone in Royals and you see like 2 or 3 people that just didn't have Royals anything on. It's just like, okay, you're a fair weather fan.
right.
But
Right.
I think it is though in every city, man.
But I feel like it's on different scales because places like, okay, so there's definitely history here for music. Like,
Right.
you know, big jazz pinpoint. Like, you cannot mention jazz and not mention Kansas City. It's impossible. But like other cities like, you know, Chicago, New York, like they've been turning their own wheel for so long and like it just grew faster. Even though like I feel like, you know, Kansas City is one of the, you know, the earlier cities, you know what I'm saying, in the United States, but at the same time, like when that culture's bubbling, that pot gets hot, like it's crazy what can come from that. And now like we're trying to build this culture here. Like you see people really, really gunning for something to really blossom out of the scene, quote unquote. You know, but like New York, you know their scene. You know New York has a scene. Like somewhere in New York, people are doing music. People are exchanging culture, word of mouth. People are talking. People are having the same conversation. Like the same narrative is being held in 3 different venues right now. In Kansas City, we just have it like in one spot. You know what I'm saying? All our energy right now is directed into one single spot and like on a few different people. Because I mean, when I say scene, I really just mean us. Because it's literally this large group of people that are pushing each other's ideas, music, clothes, brands. Like, there's really no such thing as a scene here right now. Because I feel like it's literally blossomed. I mean, we got Tech Nine, we got Mac Lethal, but at the same time, those 2 individuals have not established anything solid within the city besides, you know, their own brands. Like, their brands are solid as fuck. But when it comes to, like, the culture, there's nothing really, there's no, what do you call it? There's no coattail. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no real, I mean, you got Strange fans, you got Mac Lethal fans, but they want to hear Tech. They want to hear Lethal. You know what I'm saying? They're not out here being like, all right, like, I'm so musically inspired. I'm going to just go over here and I'm going to find more artists and, like, I'm going to be their fans too. Like, no, people here are really just, like, they really want to just continue to follow the same things. Because, I mean, change ain't that scary, you know? There are thousands, like hundreds, thousands. Like, I've met so many talented people here. So many talented people. I've met some not very talented people. I mean, it goes both ways, but at the same time, like, it's good to see people really using that courage, whatever courage they got, to really step on stage, to really graffiti, to really, I mean, even skateboarding is art. It's, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're really seeing, like, more, like, places open up for skateboarding. When I was skateboarding, like, in Parade Park, like, I was getting beat up. And, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I had long-ass shorts on. I had a Birdhouse board signed by Tony Hawk. Like, I remember the day, like, those kids broke my board. And that was the day I stopped skating. Like, but now,
They broke your board?
They broke my Birdhouse board signed by Tony Hawk. I was hurt.
Kids are assholes, man.
That thing, I could have sold that thing right now for some bread. Like it was, back when he first did the 900, he's got
Right.
Tony Hawk 1 and 2 on N64. Like that shit was everything to us back then. You know what I'm saying? Everything. But literally, when I mean us, I meant me, because it wasn't anybody else skateboarding in Parade Park at the time. Now, everyone's doing it. Now it's like things are becoming such pop culture now. Like the birth of Pokemon Go. Now Pokemon's literally pop culture. Anybody can talk about it. But like Pokemon is something that made me who I am today. Like I still watch that shit. I still play that shit. Like I know all their names. I know how they all sound. But now people can just pick it up and be like, oh, Pokemon, whatever. And people are like saying the names wrong and it's bothering me. But at the same time, I never thought I'd see the day where things would become pop culture like this. And by pop culture, I mean like Pokemon was never on MTV. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like weed's becoming pop culture. It's literally bursting out of counterculture and it's becoming popular culture. Like, to go back to MTV, I just watched like a couple commercials at somebody's house, and I remember seeing this show about these two little suburban girls that become drug dealers. And I'm like, wow, weed's really breaking the glass ceiling right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, the business of marijuana is becoming pop culture because, I mean, it was one thing to have weeds on FX, but kids don't watch FX. Kids watch MTV.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's really crazy to see things become popular culture. And I feel like it's older people looking at weed on TV and shit, you know what I'm saying, that know people, like, in jail for years for, 7 grams, people getting out for murder, but they know people that are doing hard time for weed. But now there are certain parts of the nation where people are just kicking it. It's acceptable. It's popular culture. And I know that's culture shock for some people. And I mean, that brings about like a huge amount of bitterness that I've seen. But it's like, that's what I'm saying, that lack of understanding. Because now, like, kids are growing up, and, there are kids in Colorado that are growing up like with weed around them, you know what I'm saying? And it's okay. Because, I mean, it's always been okay, but there's always been some separate agenda.
It was DARE, man. It was DARE. The DARE program that we all had to go through.
Oh.
And they're like, this is the gateway drug. And then so we all thought, oh, man, this is like cocaine, heroin. I ain't messing with this. You know what I mean? And then, like, our parents were conditioned to that. And so now that you start seeing our generation come up in the leadership roles, it's like, hey, this is actually safer than alcohol. This ain't a level 1 narcotic.
Yeah, it's still a level 1.
Yeah, it still is, because they didn't pass it. They tried to get it.
Yeah, they tried. They tried to pass it.
It's like people are just it was the media and it was that DARE program, in my opinion, that like made it just ridiculously.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Even before the DARE program, there were things like Reefer Madness.
Exactly.
And like
and that's what got our parents.
yeah, that's because they saw that and they were like, oh man, this is real.
Yep.
Hollywood, right?
Right.
Like, no, and that just gave everyone an opinion. But now, there's so much information being thrown every day at you that, I mean, your opinion can come from anywhere now.
Yeah.
But like when everybody kind of had, those niches, because, everybody didn't have a movie theater back when Reefer Madness came out. So when you get that populace of people, like, and they're just like all like, wow, weed is bad. And then like they all go back to their separate homes. Like that shit spread it like wildfire. But now we got the internet, which is already wildfire. So like people are really starting to realize that they were wrong. But at the same time, people don't want to acknowledge that they were wrong.
Hell yeah, they don't. They got that pride.
That pride
like,
got
man, the last 50 years I've been saying this is a bad
last
thing.
week I should have picked up a joint.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit's crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
it's just what really makes me mad about marijuana is that you can clearly see the medical benefits of it.
yeah.
You clearly see that. And so pharmaceutical having such money invested in all of these, just even seeing how much people are becoming addicted to painkillers.
Xanax to Oxycontin to all that shit.
Everything. And it's like, if you just put marijuana out, that's going to reduce the in my opinion, reduce the pharmaceuticals profit 50%. Because then people are going to be like, oh, this is natural. This is working way better than all these 20, 50 pills that I'm popping. And to me, that's the saddest part, is that money has now overcome like our morality, you know, as a society.
I totally get you with that. But what I feel like is going to happen is big pharma is just going to come through and they're going to buy up all that. They're going to buy up all that and they're just going to sell this now. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good point. Kind of like when Monsanto bought up, what was it, some corn
yes.
from the farmers?
Yes.
Like the some shit that I didn't think that you could patent, like a DNA sequence
Yes.
for corn, and now they're selling seeds to farmers.
Exactly. It's going to be exactly like that because it's becoming so popular that, you know, you can go to school for it. Like, it's literally merging. It's like The Thing. You ever seen The Thing? How it was just like it had to merge with other beings just to grow.
Yeah.
It's like, it's literally that. It's so infectious that like it's literally blending in with the culture, and soon it's just going to be second nature. You know what I'm saying? Just like chicken nuggets. You know what I'm saying? Like people don't even second guess them anymore. Unless you really like sit down and be like,
what's inside this motherfucker?
Yeah. Like, seriously, I really understand that Monsanto thing. That was a good one. Like, because that's exactly how I feel.
Yeah. Well, we got a little bit distracted here, but I think we're having a good conversation.
I thought that was what we came here for. I mean, I know I sent some music over, but at the same time, like, people know I do music. Like, if you know me, you know I do music. So the person that comes up to you and it's like, hey, you still doing that rap thing? Leave that guy alone. Don't ever talk to that guy again because he knows you're doing music. You know what I'm saying? He just wants you to reiterate for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, he wants his own stage with you right there. You know what I'm saying? Don't let anybody use you for your time like that. I hate that conversation. Hey, you still doing that music? I'm about to start telling people, no, I'm not. I'm actually, I bought a funeral home. You know what I'm saying? I'm a mortician now.
It's like 180 degrees the other way.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Right. I'm about to just start telling people anything. But yeah, I know I brought some music, man. Like, but no, these is good though. Like, this is why, you know, me and Joe do the Secondhand City, because we don't have platforms like this here. Like, we don't have platforms for people to really come honestly and speak on certain issues. Like the Kid Cudi thing. I was waiting to talk about that this whole episode.
Let's talk about it.
Like, Kid Cudi has really came, like, I call him Big Brother because I feel like Kid Cudi saved my life. But at the same time, Kid Cudi has his own issues that he's been going through, and he just checked in to rehab for mental health and, you know, drug abuse or whatever. And like, I feel like as men, especially as black men, because I feel like black fathers, when they do stay there with their sons, they're a little bit harder. You know, some can be harder. Some don't really want to listen. Some just want you to man up. Some just want you to become a man. Men don't. What is it? Boys don't cry. That whole stigma there, and it's like you get so many people that are, you know, dealing with mental issues, mental health, you know what I'm saying? Not saying like people are out here schizo, but there are anxieties and there are anxiousness that, you know, come with everyday living. You know, like some people really cannot get out of bed sometimes. Right. And there's nothing physically wrong with them, but at the same time, like, they just feel so low. And I mean, I feel like we don't talk about that enough. But Kid Cudi sharing his pain with the world, because, you know, Kid Cudi, you know, and I feel like that before Kanye said he's one of the most creative artists to ever come around. Like, he's going to be remembered forever. Like, if he would have committed suicide, he would have lived forever. He's going to live forever either way, but he's already solidified himself in time. And I just feel like issues like that should be spoken upon. But at the same time, when you start talking about the mental health like issue, especially in black men, you dig into something a little deeper. You dig into the actual condition, and you dive back into the Willie Lynch thing. You dive back into the light skin, dark skin. You dive back into all that, and you really start opening your eyes to other seriously real issues. Because like the shit I be talking about, you know, some people absorb it and they take, but some people absorb it and like research on their own, and they build their own opinions. They don't just take what I say and be like, I know this now. But like, because the shit I'm trying to know, you have to learn on your own, because you have to absorb it yourself, because everybody doesn't learn the same. Like, everybody doesn't read the same. Like, I feel like I read kind of fast. Like, if you're reading a book with me and I flip the page, you'd be like, hey, I'd be like, oh, my bad. So now I gotta wait on you, you know? Like, I just feel like Kid Cudi going through what he's going through right now is really gonna, I mean, I said back in the day, like, he could save the world. People like that can save the world. You know what I'm saying? Because they are planting the seed in the people who look up to them, follow their mind, follow their mind states, and, love the things that they're saying, those vibrations that they're putting out into the world. And that's stirring something up inside themselves. Because now, since Kid Cudi talked about him being weak, you know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, that's essentially what he talked about. He says, I'm not strong enough right now. Like, I don't feel strong enough. Like, as a black male in USA, that is not something that you can say, because we are taught that you have to work twice as hard. You know what I'm saying? So you don't have time to feel. You know what I'm saying? You don't have time to stop. You know what I'm saying? That you let your woman feel and you let her cry. You know what I'm saying? But you got to be the rock. You got to be strong. You know what I'm saying? You got to be this and that. You don't have time to really, you don't have time to like check in. Like, people in my family don't believe in psychiatrists and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So they don't believe like doing that. But that's something that seriously, like, people don't reinforce. You know what I'm saying? People really don't reinforce that there are issues that people are dealing with that they may need help for.
You're absolutely right. It's funny you mentioned that. There's a documentary on Netflix, I think it's called The Man Inside, where they started showing it was boys at a young age, and they started showing how they grow up, and it's like exactly what you're talking about. People from all different races. And so it's like, okay, yeah, you can't cry if you like, you got to man up, you got to be a man. And so locking all that down inside of yourself, what is that going to lead to? Right? It's going to lead to either becoming depressed, having mental issues, or acting out upon it, right?
Yeah, you're going to rupture in some way.
Exactly.
It's going to like that. It's going to find its own way out.
Right.
Because, I mean, that's you. That all that stuff you're locking away yourself. And eventually there's going to be a time where you're like, I can't be myself right now.
Right.
So it's like, deeper. And unlike the internet, you are not a vast ocean. You know what I'm saying? You fill up fairly quickly.
Real quickly.
Yeah. So it's easy. Like, when people snap, you know what I'm saying? And then, like, because, like, we were just watching Me, Myself, and Irene. But I started looking up, like, seriously, like, people who didn't realize that they were schizophrenic until they'd be, like, 32 or something. Like, I was at work and I was sweeping, and then I heard a voice, and I looked, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I couldn't imagine, like, the pressure getting to me like that. And that's why I'm so on this kick of really dissecting myself, because I've had low points, we all have, but I'm coming to the point where I refuse to be that low ever again, because that's dangerous.
Right.
That's dangerous to make the conscious decision to be like, I'm going to take myself out the game. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, you forfeit your own life. And whatever religion you believe in or whatever, it's always some extra on the back of that, because some people believe you kill yourself, you go to hell. You know what I'm saying? I read Dante's Inferno, and he said you kill yourself, you become a tree in hell. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's so many different aspects to suicide. Buddhists, they got the wheel of reincarnation. You kill yourself, you come back as a grasshopper or something. You're weak, so you're going to come back weak. Mm-hmm. Like, this shit's so crazy because it's always something on the end of something. Like, before you even realize the core issue you're trying to deal with, you're already thinking about a result that might not even necessarily be true.
Right. No, you're exactly right. And I think that, men can't cry. I think that's bullshit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I cry a lot.
I cry all the fucking time. When I was at that event with you yesterday, when those moms were talking, man, I was bawling like I was just, because it's like, that's feeling.
That's real. I mean? That's real. That's really happening right now.
Exactly.
That's really happening. And then no matter like how many mothers courageously step up like that, I mean, there's still going to be this continuous cycle until people break that conditioning.
Right.
But like you said, bro, like that, you feel that. There's no way that you can't feel that. Like I talk about being desensitized all the time, and I really do feel desensitized most of the time. But a lot of the times, it's not even like being desensitized. It's just literally like breaking it down right in front of me. So before I can even feel, I gotta know what it is. Like everything I've ever been scared of, like I had to research. Like I can tell you anything about spiders. Like I remember when watching the first Jeepers Creepers movie, and I was like, cool, gotta hop on the internet. I gotta find some facts out. Because if he come through here, he not taking me without a fight. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
For real. But like, I don't know, people take that real feeling for granted. Because I mean, you know, you feel all types of ways every day through this artificial window, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like, in a sense, you get exhausted.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of it too is everyone who is on social media, like we were talking about earlier, it's their platform. So they want to take their what they put out there and be like, hey, this is what I'm doing. Look at how awesome I am. Look at how fantastic this is. And so we've been conditioned, in my opinion, to not feel sad.
Right.
And so when we feel sad, it's like, oh, shit, is this a clinical thing? Do I need to go get pills for this depression because I'm sad? It's like, no, that's a human feeling.
Yeah.
We should feel that.
Yeah. You feel sad because you feel sad.
Right.
So now figure out why you're sad and take care of it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Don't just bury it
Right.
with pills.
And talking about it, man, that is so important.
Absolutely.
And, you know, I'm just being just a male. It's like, don't talk about your feelings. You're a pussy if you talk about your feelings.
Right, you're a pussy.
Yeah.
And then like now this dude who has different issues to you, he's calling you a pussy, but literally he's hurting just as much as you, but he's taking it out on you.
That's right.
Because he's like, cool, you're weak, and I feel strong. I know I'm strong, but I'm going through some shit that I won't acknowledge. Like, people don't break shit down like that. People are just like, oh, he's a bully. Oh, you got bullied. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
No, it goes deeper than that. Like, definitely. But I mean, like you said, you feel like we get off topic. We could talk about music whenever you're ready.
No, man, I think this is a good discussion.
I love good discussions like this. You know what I'm saying? I talk to like the people like I trust like this, but like I can't really talk to everybody like this. Cause like I said, like I'll be chilling with like a cousin or like my brother, and I'll say rain check, and he'll be like, "Man, we black, not white." And it's like right there, you just hit that wall. Right. So now I gotta dial back. I gotta come back to you real quick. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I mean, you know, you love the people in your surroundings. You still love them, but at the same time, like, one thing that I didn't realize when I was younger is when you dial back, you don't have to stay back. You know what I'm saying? You got to keep growing, or you're gonna stay in the same place. And it's saddening to see some people stay in the same places like all their lives.
Right. It absolutely is.
So you see old winos. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, he's been doing that for a long time. Like, he didn't just go buy a bottle and start drinking today. No, he's conditioned his body to slam eighths of gin. Like,
That's right. Didn't happen overnight.
Nope. For real.
Absolutely, man. Let's talk about the tracks that you brought in.
Okay, cool.
Let's talk about the tracks that you brought in.
Yeah, so individually, my solo tracks I brought in Playbook, which is from the 247 kit with Devin, and it's produced by Mab and Epiphany, which is my little brother. Epiphany's my little brother. He's taking a crack at making beats, and then Mab, the CEO of Industry Sounds, let me say, the owner. He's an owner. And I've known Mab for a very long time. He's been my big homie for a long time. He gave me my first original beat, like, for like the demo I was passing out at the bar where I've met Caleb.
Right.
Like, so like I have history with Mab. And then I brought 3 separate tracks, 3 of my favorite artists. I brought Devin's Dainty Said, which is also on that 247 kit. And that's just Devin really speaks through like how he feels about his family a lot. And like Dainty, that's like the nickname his father used to have when he was in the streets before Devin was, before he was born and stuff. So like he really takes a lot from that, really, those experiences. And I brought a track from emcee, who's a good homie. I did the Onyx EP with him.
Right.
Like, and emcee, he just, intellectually, I feel like Mike C is unmatched. Like, I feel like his brain might be as vast as the internet. You know what I'm saying? Like, seriously, like he's literally like a human archive. He has a lot of insight, I'm thankful and grateful for meeting Mike. And then I brought one from Dutch Young, and he's I met Dutch around the time, like, I was, doing shows with Caleb. He has a group with Belligerent called 2 for 1, and we did a lot of performance with them. It was great. They got great energy. But Dutch Young as an individual, and I say this like there's no period. That's all it is. Dutch Young has the most unshakable flow in Kansas City. Like, literally, like, his flow is untouchable. Like, everybody's got flow, but his flow is so precise, it's so sharp, but it's like, it sounds so familiar, you know what I'm saying? It sounds like this could be like everything else, you know what I'm saying? It could be, but it's like, he makes that choice to be more than that. But his flow is just so solid. Like, if he dropped an album right now, like, watch your toes,
Yeah. Can I just say too, just for the sake of it, man, like, I've been watching you progress over the different albums that you have, and like your wordplay and your cadences and just the way that you deliver is growing, man. And I am so excited to see where you're gonna take it next. Like, I when I listened to damn it, what was that music video that you put out?
Power
Plant. I'm like, man, if Nico keeps going, I personally think that, like, you're gonna get to the level of Kendrick Lamar. I know that, like, that's a big thing to say, but I just feel that you have that in you. And just hearing you talk over this interview about being able to dissect down and get down that deep, man, I think sky's the limit for you, man.
Bro, I appreciate that. I really do. I appreciate everything but the Kendrick Lamar comparison, bro, because I went through this whole. But I love it. I love it. But it's just so funny because.
Let me talk about this for just a minute, and I'll let you. So when I listen to music, I listen to rhythms.
Yeah.
And so, to me, lyrics are the secondary portion of it. I know lyrics are very important to lyricists. I get that. You got to understand, my background is in songwriting and instrumentals. So when I first hear that, and so I listen to hip hop when the MC is able to switch up their cadence in 32 bars 4 or 5 times, like, to me, I'm like, that is some impressive shit.
Yeah.
And I feel like some of the stuff I've been hearing from you, like, you are starting to go down that, and I'm just like, this is artistry at its best. So apologize for Kendrick Lamar,
Yeah, bro.
but that was where it came from.
No, I mean, you don't have to apologize. It's total humor behind that. I love Kendrick. Kendrick is I've been listening to him since he was K-Dot, rapping over Lil Wayne beats. Love Kendrick. It's a big influence. But at the same time, like, you used to be able to Google Domeniko KC, and, like, there would be pictures of Kendrick Lamar, like, smiling,
For real?
like, looking at me. And I used to be like, and people would be like, oh, man, like, that's hella good. You sound like Kendrick, though. And I'd be like, so now, like, I literally started to make a point to, like, not listen to anything, not listen to the radio. But of course, I get those choice releases, like Absol's gearing up to drop something new. I'm gonna listen to that. But I start really taking everything out because I wanted to build my sound. And shouts out to Rick Mine, because Rick Mine helped me find my sound with the track called Phoenix Down. That song sparked, like, everything. Because once I knew I did that track, it was like I was dancing with myself. I was like, oh, I can do this, you know? But, like, the Kendrick comparisons is just because I come from a place where, and I call it a certain level of ignorance, and I don't mean that to be, like, stupid, but it's just like, you know, you don't really know anything but Kendrick. So when you hear something that's familiar to Kendrick, you're gonna automatically put it over here. Because I mean, people place things, you know, and that's just something, like, I heard so much. I heard so much. You know, you get boxed into that. You're a conscious rapper. You know what I'm saying? But no, bro, like, at this point, like, with this music I've been making, I feel like I can make any type of music I want.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? I can't wait to, like, do some, like, Phil Collins. Like,
I was gonna say, I would love to hear you get on, like, an indie rock track,
bro,
and just rap over that.
Bro, on the album Wood Floors, which is, like, the first album I dropped under the moniker Domeniko. I did a track with this two-man band, the White Lions, and like that's some of the best music I've ever made. Like I want to continue to do things like that, but it's just when I like I said, when I'm like writing, creating through these concepts, there's not enough room for all that I want to do.
Right.
There's never enough room. So I'm always like carrying things over. And I'm finally getting to the point where I'm done carrying things over. So I feel like I'm really about to make the music that I want to make from scratch.
Yeah.
And I can't wait for that. That full, just sitting that, just soaking that. But no, like the Kendrick thing, that's just a joke that I could like. I tell everybody like I'm gonna send you the picture where I Googled and I was like, you can just see this picture of Kendrick smiling at me. It's like another picture of him like standing down, but that picture of him fucking smiling, and there was that same picture. Like I told like 5 different people to Google it. Like it's like, yeah, bro, you can do it right now, and it's that same picture of him smiling, and it's like a smile like I got you. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's hilarious. I'm gonna send that to you after the show.
Okay. Yeah, man. I mean, timing is everything, and I feel like I'm excited. I'm excited to see what the future holds for you, man.
Yeah, I feel like I'm growing. I feel like I'm never gonna stop growing. I mean, I got some more content on the way before the year's up. I'm really gearing up for some big stuff in 2017. Really, but right now, I realize that you can't keep doing the same things over and over. I mean, unless that works for you, go ahead. But like, for me and like trying to grow and trying to become a better person, like all in the same fucking minute, like I gotta keep changing. Like, cause I remember like having a better job than I do now, but I was wasting a lot of my time, a lot of my money. So now like that I'm at this point in my life, it's like I have to do it different. Like I can't spend time, money the same way that I used to. You know what I'm saying? I really have to look at everything for what it is and really think about the future. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know my future because I'm creating it now.
That's a powerful statement right there. That's the truth.
For real.
I mean, that's the truth. Who takes the 5 minutes to sit down and actually think like that? Not a lot of people, man.
No.
And that's why I think that like I don't think you're changing. I think you're finding yourself even deeper. Mm-hmm. And once you get to that point, what you were talking about earlier, you're going to get there. Shit is just going to start popping off for you.
I feel it, man. I'm just trying to raise these vibrations.
All about the vibes.
All about the vibes, man. For real.
Well, man, I appreciate you coming in. Where can people find you online?
Okay, so if you Google Domeniko KC, you can find me. Right now, I do not have a website any longer because I'm going through a rebranding process. I want to revamp things for 2017, so I'm kind of moving in a different direction, a more direction I can be even more comfortable with. You know what I'm saying? The trading cards are coming back. There's new content on the way. But if you Google Domeniko KC, or if you put in Domeniko KC on YouTube, SoundCloud, Facebook, you can find me on any of those social medias. But I really concentrate my energy on Twitter, Facebook, and SoundCloud. Like, those are the main places you can find me. Like, I have an Instagram, but it's like strictly for the brand. Like, I don't really do. I'm not a meme poster. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I'm not posting puppy pics or anything. Like, it's strictly for the brand because like you could really get consumed in that shit. Like, I remember trying to get on every social media just so I could be like, well, I got people here, I got people there. Like, I remember, like, I used to write that shit down. Okay, I'm on here. Have I checked this one yet? Nope, let me go check that one. Like, that shit, like, you think about how much time you spend on your phones now. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I would have carried all that shit, like, I feel like I would have been even more socially awkward than I am now. Like I would have had no social skills at all. Like, you got to really concentrate your energy somewhere because once people see that shit bubbling, I mean, they're just going to naturally come to you.
Bingo. Yep. If you got the music, they're going to find you regardless. If you spread yourself too thin, you're just putting shit out.
Right.
Like, you're going to get dismissed quickly.
Right. Exactly.
Cool, man. Well, thanks again for coming in.
No, bro. I've been waiting on this ever since you first hit me about it. Like, I really love to be put on the platform to really speak because you see artists, but you don't really know who they are.
Right.
Like you build those opinions, and you're like, well, like people would have been shocked if 21 Savage came out. You know what I'm saying? And he started talking about like a W.E. Du Bois book or something. You know what I'm saying? like people would have been like, oh my. You know what I'm saying? I love that feeling. Like, don't judge a book by its cover, man. I mean, if you really want to base an opinion off of something, don't just do it on your own. Like really kind of dive into what you're thinking about. Right. Don't just be like, don't think you know everything. You know what I'm saying? Because of course you acquired your learning experiences and how you do things from your own life, but at the same time you can't live like that, because that's just an ignorant way to go about.
A superficial way to live. You're not true to yourself. You're never gonna feel fulfilled.
No, you're not. But yeah, bro, like I said, thank you. Appreciate it.
Hey,
for real.
Absolutely.
For real. Like, I mean, if you ever need me to come back, man, like, I'll come back. Like, I can talk for hours. I talk too much. That's why I can put out so much music, because I got too much to say. You know what I'm saying? I got too much to say, and I'm creating more time on my hands, so people are in trouble.
Cool.
All right, I'd like to thank my guest in the studio with me today, Mr. Domeniko, for coming in, chatting with me, dropping some knowledge, and sharing some fantastic music. He is going to be taking us out of the show today with his song Combo Breaker. I'd also like to thank you all for tuning into the very first season of the Record Machine Hip Hop Hour. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to the label. We're going to be back next year, so stay tuned. We're going to be back even better, even stronger, even, more exciting. Got some really, really dope guests lined up. So you guys have a safe, fun remainder of 2016, and we will catch you in 2017.
It was just that he was all alone, always by himself. Never anyone to share the game. A man who lived in dreams. That's who he was.
Everything's a process, never see me out. Midwest, Loch Ness, head above water. Hate exposing my neck, they respect. I'm trying to handle, somebody hand me a check. I profess, I've been swinging my blade, what can I say? But you gon' pick me by its election day. I don't respond, you too curious, please tell me what your man on. You don't have the answers, just as bad as Sway Scantron. Tampons, eventually y'all gon' be bloody. Is you fucking with the big homie, you gon' hop in this cutty. Adventure time with your buddy, only Jehovah can judge me. Let's plot out these endeavors and burn switchers like logs. They claim they run the town, but all I see is like jogs. And I'm Usain, trying to refrain from blacking out. Raise the bar, I'm maxing out, trying to bring the passion out. Cause the scene dying slowly. Everybody ain't your homie. You never was my friend, God. And you'll never be this high. Yeah. No matter what you smoking on, I hope you fucking choking on it. Yeah. No matter what you smoking on, I hope you fucking choking on it. Yeah. Asphyxiation at its finest. Locals claim the stars, but have never been in alignment. Swore the event was lit. Who forgot to like the pilot? You're on a diet. Please remain silent. Things I hate about the Midwest, your attitude and the climate.